Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is NAJWA BINTI KAHARUDDIN. I am 17 and currently studying at ISLAMIAH TAWAU as the representative for the class 5A Ibn Sina. It was a really wonderful day, so I had the thought on sharing one captivating book that I've been hooked on for the past few weeks. And here it is. The title was Love for Imperfect Things by the author Hamin Sunim. And despite the title Love, this is actually not a romance book. Under the genre self-enrichment or self-help, this was a best-selling book worldwide with over 1 million physical copies sold. And it was not even an English book. It was originally written in Korean, and then it got translated into a few more languages, and boom, it blew up. And obviously, that would make me wonder, what is so special about this book that it was getting love and recognition around the globe? So this book is actually basically teaches you how to accept yourself in a world striving for perfection. I'm pretty sure that a lot of people have actually heard the term or the saying, nobody's perfect in this world, no one is perfect in this world. But ironically, we often competing and often throw ourselves into a hectic, harsh routines to be the closest one to perfect. Thus, the author himself, using anecdotes from his own journey, sharing a compiled story of his life, experiences, wonderful quotes, and even some of his teaching in a very simple way to introduce to people the art of self-care. And yes, the word imperfect things here in the title solely referring to us, the human being. The main aim for this book is to give comfort, encouragement, and wisdom to those who are burnt out and emotionally exhausted while struggling to keep up on their own lives. As many of us respond to the pressure of life by working harder at work, at school, or maybe in our situation right now with the MCO and stuff, we were working at home, that they would be happy by doing so, by doing the hard work and by pressuring and pushing themselves into their limits to achieve some things. This book actually reassures us that being ourselves is actually enough. The author argues that only by accepting our true self, including all the flaws and our own wrongdoings, would you have a compassionate and fulfilling relationship with those around you. This includes your family, your friends, your colleagues, your peers, even your significant other. I mean, basically saying that if you start caring more for yourself, the world would start to do the same to you. What I really like about this book is it was actually written in a very easy text, and it was really simple, which can be understood by literally anyone. Yeah, I mean, anyone from any type, any range of age and any range of fluency could easily understand this book. It also has many interesting points that some even give me epiphany. Like many things that have been mentioned in this book was actually the things that we're already familiar with in life, but it's just us who often forgot or didn't even realize because we're all too caught up in our fierce lives. The writing were soft and comforting, but actually can hit you in some different perspectives. It was divided into 8 chapters and it contains tons of beautiful quotes that were related to the verses. The author had a really great job explaining with great clarity the suffocating effects of perfectionism. Like, think about it. How damaging it is to think that our worth as a person, as a human being, was solely dependent on how we perform. That was so sick. And then, through each pages of this book, the author leads you on how to reclaim yourself and your life. When I actually read this book for the first time, I feel both got struck by lightning and was hugged and comforted at the same time. Like, I have a really hard time when I was mentally exhausted and I was having a hard time, but fortunately I found this book right at the time. And I'm actually the type of person who actually cannot express myself well verbally or physically, or the way I act. It was hard for me. And after some realization and after some reading, I started to treat myself a little bit nicer, and indeed that really changed me and changed the way I perceive the world, even a little bit. And yeah, one of the biggest lessons that I've actually learned from this book is, even if some things are not perfect, set them aside and move on to the next thing. Like, the idea of perfectionism or perfection or anything related to the word perfect exists only in your minds, and it certainly and it obviously may not be the same to the standard of others, the standard perfections that others set. There is no single person that could define the actual meaning of perfection or the actual theory of perfection. So that basically means that perfection was never really existed at the first place. And after I started to think like that, I become less pressured and started to feel a little bit happier myself day by day. Oh yeah, my favorite quote from this book would be page 77. I wish you to be happy, but do not wait for someone to make you happy. Make the decision to be happy for yourself and act on it. Do not surrender the power to make you happy to someone else. Meaning that you don't need anybody else actually to make yourself happy. And I always treat myself harshly and often upset if things just didn't go well, like unlike my plannings. And I sometimes even curse myself because I like just too many things in life. But after the realization and stuff, at the end, it was just actually me who was never really satisfied, who was never really happy for myself. Even though this book was a bestseller, but I still hope that this book would be translated to many other languages and reach a lot more people, especially someone like me. And people should realize that their existence itself was worth. Every single soul was precious. And there's actually we don't actually need any solid reason to actually be kind or treat ourselves nicely. You don't need any reason to love yourself, because if you could love something or someone else besides ourselves without any particular reason. For example, I love watch animes, for example, and I don't have any exact reason, any particular reason that why I love them. I just love it. So if you could do that to others or other things or to somebody else, why can't you? do this exact same thing to yourself. And each and every flaw that you made, every wrongdoings that you accidentally made, your sins that you've already committed throughout your life, that is actually made a part of your own constellation. And I would highlight the word constellation. And obviously the things that I've mentioned, the bad things, where it can be beautiful as long as you're not really caught up into those mistakes and learned from it. Because that's just the thing that actually defines us today for a better us tomorrow. I really recommend this book to those who are mentally exhausted and needed comfort, like urgently need comfort and some encouragement regardless of gender, regardless of age, and regardless of any fluency that you have, so that at the very least they would leave the tiring day that they have today behind and start a new day feeling better. Of course, that I would really admit that there is no way reading just a mere book like this would comfort or heal you fully, but I sincerely hope that after maybe reading a few verse or a couple of words from this book would actually help you feel a little bit better. And personally speaking, I really thought that this book has no flaws at all. Like, it was lightweight, it was small so that you can carry it everywhere, anywhere, and it was perfect for just maybe when you like, if you want to read in tea times or something. And it has beautiful illustrations like this that I find so satisfying. It was the perfect book. It was the perfect companion for you. And I thought it also can be a little daily reminder for you to not go heads on for yourself at the day. And it would be perfect with a pair of fluffy socks and a cup of warm tea at the evening. Overall, this was a really amazing and great book, and I've learned a lot from it. So I hope, of course, I would hope that this book would do the same way and would give you the same experience as I did to any other person who is or who will read this book. Basically, that's it. That is all from me. Hope you guys enjoy it, and thank you for watching.